Now, yesterday we talked about how much food you actually need. Today, what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit. This will be a quick video about what gear I feel you can skimp on price-wise and which gear you can't. I learned a big lesson with this stuff. I'm JB Gunner, aka Teardrop. Let's go ahead and do this. This is Teardrop, and welcome to New to the Wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Teardrop, JB Gunner, I'm back, and what I'm going to do in this video is today we are going to discuss gear that you can skimp on. Now, I've been known to take both sides of the fence here. I've been known to say, in the very beginning of my hiking career, I used to tell you, fuck, you don't need to get all that high expensive shit, the high-end shit, but I was wrong. In a lot of situations, you do. You don't want to skimp with your backpack. You don't want to, for instance, skimp with your tent or your sleeping bag. As I've grown in experience, I've learned that there are some things that you literally can't skimp on, but there are still things that you can skimp on. And so in this video, today I'm going to tell you what those things are. Okay, number one, food bag. I know what you're saying. JB, I got to have a food bag. You're right. So, but what I'm saying is a lot of these people will send you to some of the expensive places to get a food bag, when the truth is this. You can find a lightweight. Now, don't go get that Walmart big giant white food bag, because that motherfucker's heavy. But you can get cheaper food bags for 20, 25 bucks that work. I've had the same food bag for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, well, probably about a year and a half, and I think I got it at Target for 35 bucks. I don't remember what the fucking name of it even is, but it's the big lime green bag that I have. And now, finally, thanks to one of the shelters where a flying squirrel got into it, I do have to purchase a new food bag. So I probably will go a little bit high end on this one. But however, it's not important because that very same day that I had my food bag chewed into, people that I saw with Sea to Summit or some of the expensive food bags, their shit got chewed into as well. You know, so now where a food bag where you may want to invest is there are food bags out there that apparently trap the odors inside the food bag. That may be worth doing. But the truth of this is your food bag is probably going to get eaten through at some point throughout your hike anyway. And that is the reason to skimp on any form of gear. Any form of gear that I am going to give you advice on right here is probably because it will be destroyed throughout your hike anyway. Now, so the food bag is one item. Take it or leave it. You can skimp. You don't have to skimp it. It depends on you, how important that is to you. Because you always want to take into consideration the replacement cost. Now, I currently wear Salomons. However, my most comfortable pair of hiking trail runners were $40 Columbias from, it wasn't Walmart, it was from Amazon. And so the truth of this is, and here's the truth, those Columbias are still in there. And granted, so are my Salomons, but the Salomons just, I wasn't happy with them. Now, will I probably purchase Salomons for this next trip? Yes. But at the same time, those are also things that you can skimp on. Now, don't get me wrong. Your feet is the most important thing. It's very important for you to have inserts. It's very important for your feet to be comfortable. But I guess all I'm telling you right now, is that some of the most expensive shoes, trail runners, are not necessarily the most comfortable or best for your feet. I never had blisters at all, ever on the Appalachian Trail until 2017. And the truth of this is, it's because for some reason, none of them other cheaper shoes gave me blisters, but the Salomons did. So take that with a grain of salt. But either way, shoes isn't something you could skimp on. You have to make sure your shoes are comfortable. You have to make sure, because your feet is your most important thing. But what I'm saying with the shoes is don't always think that you need to follow the trends that you hear online. Because with shoes, it's all about comfort and how your feet adjust to them. We all have different size feet. I got pretty big feet. We all have different size feet. We all have different widths to our feet. So just understand that going in. Hiking poles. Yes, I got more expensive hiking poles, and it does indeed matter. However, I still believe that you could get by with Walmart hiking poles, if not just a stick that is, I mean, literally, I've seen people hike with Walmart poles. I've seen people hike with sticks. Me personally, I did upgrade from Walmart poles to, and I did this about a year and a half ago, to REI poles. I still don't think I would go all the way to Black Diamond or whatever the fucking Leckies seem to be really good, and I hear they got a good customer service department. But however, what I'm saying to you is they're just fucking sticks. They're just poles for you to hike with. There's some people that don't even hike with poles at all. I wouldn't recommend that. But I guess what I'm saying is if you're careful, there's a good chance you can break your poles no matter what. I've seen people with expensive poles break them. I've seen people with cheap poles break them. This is another situation that if you're going to go expensive, go with a company that will replace them if they break. Do you see what I'm saying? If they are not willing to replace them if they break, then go cheap, then go Walmart. Because why would you want to replace poles a couple of times at $100 each instead of $25 each? It doesn't make any sense. Another thing that you can go cheap on is clothes. You can skimp on clothes. Now, don't get me wrong. Actually, I've never purchased hiking gear really off the internet at any of these expensive places. You could find yourself a nice pair of long johns that are not cotton on Amazon for fucking $15, $10. You know, same thing with your tops. You know, I've had the same orange shirt that you see me in a lot of them videos for years now. And you know how much that shirt cost me? $10. You know how light that thing is? It is incredibly light. Those pants, those pants that I used to wear, that were kind of like windbreakers. Man, those things were light as you can imagine, as could be, and those things cost me, I think, like $8. The clothes do not matter, especially if you're in the summer. Get yourself a pair of non-cotton shorts and roll with that. And here's another thing: you don't need to take that many clothes. You really don't. Camp fit, hike fit. You see what I'm saying? And really, to be honest, it doesn't. Unless you're starting in the cold, which I always do, you just don't need that much. When it comes to the jackets, you do not need to necessarily find the most expensive puffies. I bought my REI puffy. It's a co-op puffy. It was normally $100, and it was $100 if you bought any other color but one, blue. You know how much the blue one was? $45. So a $100 jacket I got for $45 just because I was smart enough to do so. A lot of times this gear you can find without spending full price or an arm and a leg. Now, when it comes to the water filters, there's no reason to skimp on them because $25 if you get the Sawyer's is as cheap as it gets. Now you could go filterless, which I have no problem with as well, but I do think just for the rough situation, you never know what kind of situation you'll bump into, I would take a water filter. Another thing is another way that you could do this and save weight or save money is to go stoveless. Go into towns and buy yourself snack cakes and Lunchables and dumb shit like that to eat on, particularly before the hiker hunger hits. I'm just being honest. And by doing that, you don't have to buy fuel. You don't have to buy. Going stove. There's a lot. Now I'll never go stoveless again. But there's a lot of upside to going stoveless. Now other gear that you can skimp on. I'm trying to think. Listen, okay. One of the things that I think is not necessarily needed, but a lot of us have them, is the ground cloths for your tent. That's not necessary either. You know what I mean? If you'd like to, ground cloths help, but not really. I still got rain in my tent. I still had puddles underneath my tent. I still had to move the rocks and sticks out the way. If you're not lazy and you just remove the rocks and sticks from wherever you're putting your tent, then you don't need a ground cloth. You honestly don't. You don't need anything like that. Other things. You could save and not bring a pot and not bring a bowl simply by eating out of the pot. You know what I mean? If you're not sharing your food with anybody, why not just eat out of the fucking pot? But that's just me. Another thing is silverware. People like to buy these long, big fucking, these long, expensive silverwares, sporks. You don't have to necessarily do that. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Either find you a cheap spork, you can buy them anywhere, or when you go into towns, just grab you a handful of fucking sporks from McDonald's and roll with that. You don't need all that shit, man. I'm not playing with you. I saw plenty of people carrying around 2 or 3 McDonald's sporks, and then when they get into town, they threw them sporks away, and they just got something else. Okay, what else? What else can you save on? Say you can save money on a camera by literally filming the shit with your iPhone, but I don't have to go on and on. You already know about that. A smartphone works as it can work as your GPS, your communications device, and your camera. You know, compact all that shit into one. Now I see another thing. A lot of people out there. Let's see. Let's look at other gear. Okay, let's talk about gaiters. You don't fucking need gaiters. Gaiters don't prevent anything. What gaiters are there's these things that you put outside of your shoes and pants that's supposed to prevent rocks and mud and wetness from getting into your shoes. Listen, it's extra weight for no reason. You do not need them. They don't really affect it that much. And to be perfectly honest, your shoes are going to get wet anyway. You're fucking hiking in the woods. You're going to get a rock or two in your shoe once in a while. Just tighten them shoes up, or just tighten them up. Another thing that people talk about all the time is micro spikes. People will talk about all the time that you need them. Listen, if you're hiking on the Appalachian Trail, I repeat, unless you are in the White Mountains in the snow, you do not need them. Blood Mountain is maybe the only thing that may possibly, that in the Smokies in the worst weather, but they're not the odds of you hitting that when you, listen, just sit a day out if it's fucking iced over. Or go slow. You don't need to wait. You don't need to spend the money. You can skimp on shit like that. Don't listen to what no one else is telling you. You could skimp on this gear. Now, let's see. What else do we have here? Trying to think. First aid. First aid, you could skimp on that. All you really need is a fucking Band-Aid. And the truth of this is, any injury that you have that a Band-Aid can't heal, it doesn't matter. You're close to town. You'll get there in time. And if it's that serious, there's no other fucking thing that you'll have that'll heal you before you get to town anyway. If an injury is that serious where a Band-Aid isn't going to cover it, and you don't need to take a bunch of Band-Aids, just a Band-Aid or two. And with your first aid kit, maybe some pain relief at the end of the night, but really that's it. Stop taking all these damn Neosporins and all this shit. You don't need it. I'm telling you, it's not the PCT or the CDT. You're so close to town. Why would you carry around all this bullshit? Another thing that you do not need is a knife. Knives are good. They come in handy for cutting cheese. That is literally it, or sausages. So, you know, if you want to carry a small pocket knife to cut your sausages or your cheese, I'm all for it. But to think that you're going to be out there like a fucking warrior with your fucking knife, defending yourself against predators, get the fuck out of here. And also leave your fucking rape whistle at home. No one's going to rape your fucking ass. No one wants it. We are here to get away from people, to get away from broads, to get away from shit like that. No one wants to take your fucking smelly snatch. I'm just being real. Leave the rape whistles at home. Leave the fucking whistles at home. Just what the fuck? All right, what other gear can you skimp on? Fuel. Stop carrying around the big cans of fuel. There's smaller cans. Carry the smallest cans of fuel. You'd be surprised. It'll last you probably a week or two until you get into town. Stop over carrying fuel. And the truth of this is, even though I don't do it, go the alcohol route. If you're going to carry a stove, go the alcohol route. It's a lot less weight, a lot less money too. All right, let's really look at this. We've talked about the clothes. Okay, now listen. When it comes to the tents, no, I would never recommend skimping on a tent. But I got a secret. If you're willing to carry the weight, I'm going to be honest with you. Some of them cheap Walmart tents held out water better than my Big Agnes. I'm not joking either. I'm not against taking a Walmart tent, even if you have to replace it later. Think about it. Think about the money you'll save. Now, you'll have to carry more weight. But we're talking about skimping on money here. I'm not against it. And if you go in the summer, the $40 Walmart 40-degree bag, bro, I don't see a problem with it. But you got to make sure you're not going to be in the cold, though. Make sure you're not in the cold. All right? But most of the clothes that you'll need to take, you got in your house anyway. I'm telling you not to skimp on the big three because I don't think you should. But is it possible? Sure. Sure. Could you take a small quilt that your fucking grandma knitted you instead of a sleeping bag? Yep. Could you take a tarp instead of a tent? Sure. And the truth of this is, as long as you're not in the bubble, you don't even need none of that shit. Because if you're going off season or any other time, to be perfectly honest, you'll find that the shelter's empty. Not in a bubble, though. Not in a bubble. When it comes to your pack, can you do a cheap pack? No. Your pack is serious shit. You need to be able to, and you need an Osprey. You need a pack that will replace it if you break it. Trust me, on my first hike, I got to the Three Forks area, and my generic pack that I bought off fucking Craigslist, my shoulder strap snapped on me. And yes, I did use, here's another thing. Make sure you take some bungee cords, man. You'll be surprised how much those come in handy. But I bungeed it together, and I could have probably kept going with that pack. But the truth of it is, you don't want to be in a situation like that. Here's another thing. You don't have to have the passport unless collecting those things means something to you. You can leave that shit at home. Don't carry a written journal. Just fucking use your phone. For the record, though, I do carry a written journal, so it is what it is. Just wanted to be out there. The bottom line here is there's a lot of ways you can skimp. Can you get by? Can you technically get by on $500 worth of gear? Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, you could do it. I've seen a lot of people out there with cheap gear, and they made it farther than I did. I'm just saying, it could be done. Well, with all that being said, and here's another thing. I do want to talk about this. Something I've seen recently, and I can't really understand it. I've seen a lot of people wearing cotton. They don't seem to be dead yet. So I'm curious how that's even possible. What is it that I'm missing here? In fact, I want you people in the comment section to let me know. Why are so many people getting away with wearing cotton? Now, I'm not doing it, but should I be? What's the big fucking deal? I'm not understanding, because these people seem to be making it pretty fucking far and not dying. So, I understand cotton's harder to dry or whatever. So maybe that's something you can educate me on in the comment section. But anyway, I hope this video helps a little bit. Those are some of the things that I believe you can skimp on. Another thing, food. To stop buying mountain houses, man. Yes, they're convenient. But listen, man. Listen, a good way to skimp is, especially if it's the right weather, go get 20 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's and pack them out. Easy meal, easy preparation. It's right there. And they're pretty cheap. It's a cheap resupply. Just saying. And have no fear. You don't have to go with Starbucks. Get some of the fucking Maxwell houses or the cheaper coffee shops. Anyway, all right. I'm out of here. Hopefully that helps. Those were some of the items I feel you can skimp on. If I left anything out, guys, put it in the comment section. Let these people know. Anyway, I'm JB Gunner. I'm out of here.
Bye, bitches.